One of the coolest things about moving to Portland is that people often end up loving places they didn't even know existed when they first started their search. We see it all the time. Someone moves here convinced they're going to live in one of those iconic, hip neighborhoods, walkable streets, coffee shops on every corner, bikes cruising by, someone grabbing Stumptown before heading into Forest Park for a hike. Very Portland. And look, that version of the city, totally real. I lived that exact life in the Alberta Arts District in 2011, 2012. But then our clients spend a day exploring the metro and suddenly they're like, wait, this area exists too? Portland's weird like that. 10 minutes in the car and the lifestyle flips completely. And a lot of the times, the place people end up loving the most is one they didn't even know about when they first started their search. So where do people actually end up living after moving to Portland? Because the places that win you over the most aren't usually the ones you expect. Let me tell you something I see happen all the time with relocation buyers. We had a couple fly into Portland for a long weekend to explore neighborhoods and get a sense of things before moving. They had done all the research and they were really convinced that they wanted to live in the northwest part of town, somewhere above Forest Park. They were envisioning pine trees towering overhead. That was their vision. And we did our pre-visit Zoom call, which we love to do with clients. And we started talking, and something that I said about Mount Tabor on the entire opposite side of the metro lit them up. They started sending me craftsman homes in that neighborhood. And when they landed in town, we checked out both neighborhoods. And it really took them a minute to adjust their vision. They kept saying, we didn't expect to change our plan, but, and that's the exact moment almost every relocation buyer has in Portland. Because when you get here, suddenly the city looks totally different. More space, different neighborhoods, totally different lifestyle. You can drive 10 minutes and feel like you landed in a completely different city. There's something for everyone, but almost everyone starts their search in the exact same place. Because when people first picture living in Portland, there's this one version of the city that pops into their head.
One of the reasons people fall in love with Portland so quickly is this lifestyle right here, or should I say right behind me. Picture a Saturday morning in Northwest Portland off 23rd Avenue. Coffee shops buzzing, someone walking their dog, bikes rolling past, a line forming outside a bakery before noon, or hey, stopping at a food truck pod. Someone's grabbing a Stumptown and heading toward the park like it's part of their routine. When most people imagine living in Portland, this is the version of the city they're picturing. Walkable streets, coffee shops in every corner, food carts tucked into neighborhoods, bookstores, parks, and restaurants all within a few blocks of each other. And honestly, that version of Portland is very real. A lot of relocation buyers start by looking at neighborhoods just like this, or the Pearl District, or the Inner East Side in Southeast Portland near Hawthorne or Division. Old brick buildings, tree-lined streets, local coffee spots, bikes everywhere. Neighborhoods where you can live your day-to-day life without hopping in the car every 5 minutes. Portland also has over 12,000 acres of parks, so even in these urban neighborhoods, you're usually only a few minutes from green space. It's not unusual to grab a coffee, wander through Powell's books, then head over to Forest Park for a hike, all in the same afternoon. Part of why these neighborhoods work so well is Portland's 20-minute neighborhood planning idea. The goal is simple. Most of what you need, groceries, coffee, parks, restaurants, should all be within about a 20-minute walk or bike ride. In many of these areas, the walk scores are usually in the 90s, meaning a huge portion of your daily life can happen within a few blocks of home. Portland also has one of the highest bike commuting rates in the country, which is why bikes are just part of everyday life here. You grab a coffee in the morning, maybe work from a cafe for a bit, go for a run in the park, meet friends for dinner, without planning a long drive. Before long, you start recognizing the same baristas, the same dog walkers, the same neighborhoods almost every day. It's vibrant, it's convenient. And for a lot of people, this is the Portland that sells the dream. I had a relocation client from Arizona meet for a coffee in Southeast Hawthorne. And after walking around the area, they said, hey, Aaron, this is exactly what we pictured when we started looking at Portland. And for some people, this is exactly where they end up. But for a lot of relocation buyers, this is where the search starts to shift. If you're thinking about moving to the Portland area and want help just figuring out which neighborhoods actually fit your lifestyle, that's what we focus on. Reach out to us. Our team works with relocation buyers here every single week, and we're proud to be the local Portland real estate team of choice for people making a move right here to this area. So whether you're just starting your research or planning your move, feel free to call us, text us, or send us an email anytime. All of our contact information is listed right down there in the description.
Convenience here in Portland doesn't work the way you might think. That realization is usually the moment that relocation buyers start rethinking where they want to live. In a lot of cities, convenience is pretty straightforward. It usually comes down to how quickly you can drive somewhere, and that often comes down to how close you are to the center of things. You want to be 5 minutes to the grocery store, 10 minutes to dinner, 15 minutes to work. If you're watching from California, you're literally thinking like, what? There are places that live like that? Honestly, there are. But daily life in so many places revolve around getting in the car and moving across town. Portland approaches convenience from a completely different angle. Instead of asking how fast you can drive somewhere, people here often think about how much of their daily life can happen within their own neighborhood. Spend a little time in the city and the pattern becomes super obvious. The same people are walking to the same neighborhood cafe every morning, a quick stop at New Seasons for groceries, friends hopping on bikes to meet for dinner instead of driving all the way across town. And that rhythm isn't just cultural either. Roughly a third of Portland commuters don't drive alone. So walking, biking, and transit are simply part of everyday life here. And daily errands tend to happen in much smaller loops. A coffee run before work, a walk through a park late in the afternoon, maybe lunch from a nearby food cart pod. Some days could end with a quick hike in Forest Park or a bike ride along the Willamette River before heading home. Life starts to revolve around your neighborhood. That's one of the reasons many inner Portland neighborhoods have walk scores pushing the 90s. But here's the twist most relocation buyers don't realize at first. Portland actually offers several different versions of convenience. The walkable city living shows up in places like the Northwest, the Pearl District, or Hawthorne. Transit-oriented living appears along the Max Light rail corridors. In fact, the MAX system alone runs more than 60 miles across the region, connecting communities outside of downtown. But other areas prioritize driving access and easier commutes. And so for a lot of families, convenience eventually means something else entirely. More space, better parks, stronger schools. And once buyers understand that convenience works differently here, their search tends to widen out. Suddenly, the question isn't just where to live. It becomes what kind of daily lifestyle actually fits them best. Question for you, when you think about convenience in your daily life, do you picture walking to most places or being able to drive anywhere quickly? I'm curious what people prefer. Once buyers start looking at Portland through this lens, something interesting happens where neighborhoods that are further outside the city core suddenly start popping up onto their radars. And one place in particular tends to change people's perspective the moment they see it. It sits just a few miles west of Portland, but the lifestyle there feels completely different from the urban neighborhoods most buyers start with. And a lot of relocation buyers overlook it at first, until they experience it for themselves.
Something interesting happens once relocation buyers start exploring beyond Portland's city neighborhoods. Most people arrive convinced they'll live right in Portland. They picture the walkable streets, the coffee shops, the classic urban vibe. That's the vision. Then somewhere during the home tour, we drive about 15 minutes and hey, boom, before long, or right here in Beaverton. At first, the expectations are pretty modest. On paper, it sounds like your typical suburb, maybe quieter, maybe more spread out. But once buyers actually spend some time here, the reaction is almost always the same. Wait, this is Beaverton? Why didn't anyone tell us about this place? The surprise comes from how much the area has changed over the past decade. What many expect to feel like a sleepy suburb has turned into one of the most balanced lifestyle hubs in the Portland metro. The big reason is the Silicon Forest tech corridor running right through this part of the region. Major employers like Intel and Nike anchor thousands of jobs nearby, which pulls a lot of professionals towards the west side. Living here also places people closer to that job corridor, which makes commuting far easier than crossing the entire metro. Spend a little time around downtown Beaverton and it becomes pretty obvious why buyers start reconsidering their plans. On weekends, the Beaverton Farmers Market fills the streets with local vendors while live music drifts across the plaza. Food cart pods stay busy into the evening, and nearby breweries pull steady crowds after work. Another thing buyers notice quickly is how far their budget stretches here. With Portland's median home price hovering in that mid $500,000 range, many relocation buyers realize they can often find more space and newer homes once they start looking on the west side. Transit still keeps the area connected to the city. The Max Light Rail, which runs more than 60 miles across this region, has multiple stops right here in Beaverton, making getting into downtown Portland pretty easy. At the same time, driving around the metro tends to be simpler from this side of town. Freeway access is easier, and daily errands usually involve less congestion than some inner city neighborhoods. Then, another factor rises up to the top for many buyers: space. The homes built before the 2000s have larger lots. The newer builds, which there are a lot of, have smaller lots but share all the other qualities like quieter streets, bigger parks, and families also pay close attention to the highly rated schools here, which draws buyers looking for that long-term stability. After exploring both sides of the metro, a familiar pattern starts to appear. Buyers who originally planned to live in Portland begin to pause. And sooner or later, someone usually says it: Beaverton just fits how we actually live. Not because it replaces Portland, it simply offers a different version of that Portland area living. The pace shifts, the convenience works differently. Daily life spreads out just a little bit more. And once buyers realize how many versions of Portland living exist all across the metro, another place often enters the conversation. A place where lifestyle shifts again. The neighborhoods get quieter, the trees get thicker, and suddenly people start talking about schools, trails, and community in a completely different way. And surprisingly, it's one that wins a lot of people over the moment they experience it.
At some point during almost every relocation tour, whether it's over Zoom or in person, the conversation starts to shift. Buyers usually begin focused on walkability. Everyone wants a walkable. Coffee shops, restaurants, that classic Portland lifestyle. Then the priorities evolve as we dig a little deeper. What are the schools like? How much yard space do homes have? Are there good parks nearby? That's usually when Lake Oswego enters the conversation. For many families relocating to the Portland area, this is where the search begins to feel a lot more focused, because Lake Oswego offers a completely different version of the Portland lifestyle. Instead of urban energy or tech-driven suburb growth, the emphasis here is on community, schools, and quality of life. Driving into the area, you can feel the atmosphere change quickly. Streets wind through tall trees, homes sit on larger lots, and the neighborhoods feel quiet, established, and intentionally residential. Then you reach the center of town. Downtown Lake Oswego sits along the lake and feels like a polished small town hub. Restaurants, cafes, boutique shops, and parks cluster around the waterfront, creating one of the most walkable suburban centers in the region. On summer evenings around Millennium Park Plaza, families are still eating their salt and straw ice cream, but they're strolling through the suburbs while kids are playing near the fountain. Outdoor concerts and farmers markets bring the community together along the waterfront. Just down the river a bit, George Rogers Park draws families in for picnics, paddleboarding, and walks along the Willamette River. That sense of place is a big part of the appeal. But another factor quickly rises to the top for many relocating families: schools. Lake Oswego School District is widely considered the strongest in Oregon, which is why so many buyers moving from out of state immediately add it to their list. Homes in highly rated school districts often carry price premiums of 10 to 20%, and Lake Oswego is an obvious example of that. Property values here do sit above the Portland metro median, reflecting how many buyers specifically target this community for long-term living. Once families begin touring neighborhoods around the lake or the surrounding hillsides, the lifestyle difference here becomes clear. Even though the community feels tucked away, downtown Portland is about 20-25 minutes, allowing many professionals to balance that quieter home life with easy access to the city. That balance is what makes Lake Oswego stand out. Families get space, beauty, strong schools, and a slower daily pace while still staying totally connected to the Portland metro. For some clients, once they realize life can be dynamic and rich outside the city center, something interesting happens again. The conversation shifts one more time, because now the question becomes, what if we could find that same balance of lifestyle, nature, and community, but in a place that feels even quieter and more human-paced? That's when buyers often start looking a little further south of Portland.
The streets feel quieter, the air smells a little fresher. Hills and trees surround the neighborhoods. That's usually why people begin to understand why Westland quietly wins over so many relocation buyers. Located just south of Lake Oswego, right along the Willamette River, the landscape immediately stands out. Hills roll through the neighborhoods. Tall evergreens line the streets, and nature shows up almost everywhere you drive in the views. I kid you not, I think Westland has some of the most beautiful PNW views I've ever seen. Now, instead of feeling like a typical suburb, the community feels more like a small town woven right into the landscape. Driving through the area makes that clear pretty quickly. Residential streets wind through wooded hillsides, and parks appear right around corners in ways that feel intentional. Trails connect neighborhoods to green spaces, so nature becomes part of that everyday life, rather than something you have to drive to. One place that captures that atmosphere perfectly is the Mary S. Young Park. Now, my son has played t-ball there a couple years in a row. It also has a large natural area along the river where locals can walk those forested trails with their dogs or launch kayaks into the water. Families wander the paths while kids skip rocks right along the shoreline. And just a few minutes away, Willamette Park brings a different kind of activity. Wide open fields, sport courts, walking paths, all pull neighbors together for games, practices, and weekend gatherings. Not to mention, it's right along the Willamette River, again, with access for all those water activities. A life here tends to slow down in the best possible way. Morning walks through wooded neighborhoods, kids riding bikes through quiet residential streets, evenings spent at parks or backyard gatherings with neighbors. Quick question for you. Does this kind of quiet, nature-first lifestyle sound like your vibe? Go ahead and drop it in the comments, and hey, I read every one of them. The Westland-Wilsonville School District consistently ranks among the strongest in Oregon, which is why families relocating from other states often add this area to their search very early. Demand reflects that reputation. Homes located in highly rated school districts often command price premiums of 10 to 20%, and communities like Westland regularly see strong demand because buyers prioritize long-term stability for their families. And if your kids are into team sports, the Westland High School regularly wins state championships. Outdoor access plays a role as well. Across the Portland region, neighborhoods with easy access to parks and trails and green space tend to attract buyers who want a lifestyle built around nature. Westland happens to check both boxes. Compared with Portland's urban neighborhoods, buyers here often prioritize larger homes, bigger lots, and neighborhoods close to parks or trails. The focus shifts towards space, schools, and long-term community living. Even though the area feels surrounded by nature, it remains well connected to the rest of the metro. Now, driving into downtown Portland usually takes you about 25 to 30 minutes, while nearby Lake Oswego and Oregon City provide additional restaurants, shopping, and everyday services. What often stands out to most relocation buyers is the sense of community. Parks fill up during youth sports seasons, school events bring families together, neighbors run into each other on trails or in weekend gatherings. Over time, those small interactions create something people notice pretty quickly, a real community. And for many relocation buyers, that combination becomes incredibly compelling. By the time buyers finish exploring West Linn, a bigger realization usually sets in. Portland area isn't defined by just one lifestyle. Instead, the metro offers several different ways to live, each shaped by its own mix of neighborhoods, convenience, and daily rhythm. And once people see those options side by side, final decision becomes a lot more interesting, because the real question isn't just where people move in the Portland metro, it's which lifestyle actually fits them best.
After relocation buyers spend time exploring the Portland area, a bigger realization usually starts to take shape. The decision isn't really about choosing a specific city. What people are actually choosing, and you know this, is a lifestyle, one that is intimately connected to who they are or even who they want to become. Every part of this Portland metro offers a different version of daily life. And with the region's median home price hovering around the mid $500,000 range, most buyers quickly start weighing trade-offs between location, space, and commute. Spend time in neighborhoods like the Pearl District or Hawthorne, and the appeal is so obvious. Cafes spill onto sidewalks and restaurants stay busy late into the evening. Most errands you can do within just a few blocks. But that kind of convenience comes at a price too. Walkable neighborhoods often carry premiums of 10 to 20% because buyers place so much value on that lifestyle access. Head west towards Beaverton and the rhythm changes. Tech jobs, growing town centers, and easy freeway access create a lifestyle built around a different kind of convenience, proximity to the region's west side employment corridor. In Lake Oswego, priorities evolve again. Really strong schools, waterfront parks like Millennium Plaza, and established neighborhoods begin shaping that conversation. Further south in West Linn, the pace slows even more. Hills, wooded neighborhoods, places like Mary S. Young Park or Willamette Park bring a lot of nature into everyday life. None of these places are better or worse than others. They just offer different ways to live. That's why relocation decisions around Portland often surprise people. Moving to a new city is not just about choosing a new house. It's about deciding how your new daily life is going to feel. Morning coffee in the Pearl, Saturday mornings at the Beaverton Farmers Market, or sunset walks near the river in West Linn with Mount Hood glowing in the background. Those everyday moments end up shaping the decision more than you might expect. Research across housing markets shows the same pattern again and again. School quality, commute access, and neighborhood lifestyle influence where people live just as much as home prices or square footage. In the Portland region, those trade-offs show up everywhere. And once you recognize those trade-offs, the process becomes much clearer. The question stops being, where should we live? It becomes, what kind of daily life do we actually want? When that answer clicks for you, the right neighborhood usually becomes obvious. That's the moment people realize, this is home to us. This is our part of Portland. If you're still trying to figure out where you fit into that picture, there's one last reason people end up choosing the neighborhood they do.
Moving to Portland isn't about finding the best neighborhood, it's about finding the lifestyle that actually fits your life. Some people picture the city right away. Walkable streets, coffee shops everywhere, the Pearl District, or Hawthorne kind of lifestyle where everything happens right outside your door. Others explore a little and realize something different works better. Beaverton starts making sense for the convenience and proximity to the West Side job corridor. Families often lean toward Lake Oswego for the schools, parks, and established neighborhoods. Then there are the buyers who step into West Linn and see the hills and trees and realize that slower, nature-connected pace is actually what they were looking for. One couple moved here convinced they wanted a home in Southeast, in the middle of the action. Then 2 days later, we were standing in West Lynn overlooking the trees, and they said, yeah, this feels like the PNW I was after. Another family relocated for tech jobs and assumed the Portland proper made the most sense. But after seeing how close Beaverton sits to that west side employment corridor, the decision got pretty easy for them. People don't choose just a place on the map, they choose how they want their daily life to feel. Trying to figure that out from Google or Zillow alone can get confusing pretty fast, because these neighborhoods feel completely different in person than they do on that map. That's where we come in. We help people make sense of it all. We've helped so many people who thought they wanted one thing only to realize a small shift in location changed everything else for them. You can have the same budget and the same city, but a totally different quality of life. You can't think your way into clarity here. That comes from talking it through with someone who actually lives and breathes this market every day. That's exactly why we offer a discovery Zoom call. Even if you're just thinking about Portland at a high level, this call is designed to give you that instant clarity. You'll walk away knowing exactly what's possible for you here. If you're relocating, we're your Portland real estate team of choice. And if this video hit a nerve, don't sit on it, reach out. Our number and email is right down there in the description. Let's walk through your real lifestyle, real numbers, and real options so you can move forward with confidence instead of second guessing. Hey, thanks for spending time with us, and I'll catch you on the next one.